How you feeling, bud?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Weight's good. Yeah, everything's going according to plan. So feel ready to get the weight cut and weigh in, and then get to eat.
You've done this so many times, this weight cutting thing. I mean, is there anything about it that ever takes you by surprise in a fight week, or has taken you by surprise and say, "Oh shit, man, this isn't going the way it has in the past"? But what's going on here?
Definitely. It's it's one of those things that when somebody misses weight, I have mixed feelings about it. Because there are things that are out of our control. Usually, what happens is they get a little too confident in their ability. But I've had things happen fight week where it's like, the weight just doesn't come off for whatever reason. Maybe you ate something a little bit different, had a little too much salt in or something like that, and the weight just sticks. I've had a couple ones where winding down, getting into Thursday night, it was like, oh shit, I need to do a little extra work today and get in another session to get the weight cut. And those ones suck. They really do. And there's nothing. I don't know how to explain it sometimes. I mean, it's just there's so many little things involved, and you got to control what you can control, and that's really just the effort that you put into it and the attitude that you approach it with. So it sucks. It really does.
There are
Part
guys
of that
like you
game.
who know that it sucks, and you just put your head down and do your job and you deal with it. And there are probably guys who are like, 20%, what am I going to do? And give up on it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like there have been a lot of guys, and girls and fighters that have been rewarded for missing weight, and it's that's kind of the thing. It's like, all right, well, is taking these extra couple pounds off worth it? Because even though I come in overweight and I win tomorrow, it could mean a title shot for me, or it could mean something big for me. So it's kind of just that rewarding that negative behavior that we've created that little bit. But the morning weigh-ins, I've said it quite a few times, it's probably the best thing that the UFC has done for us. It just gives us more time to relax. I mean, that's like the toughest part. Is you get back from weigh-ins at 6 o'clock or something like that, and it's like rush to get food in, rush to get water in, and then you're like still bloated when you go to bed. Where now it's like, okay, you weigh in the morning, you got some time, eat a little bit, go take a nap, relax, let your body adjust, and then two, not having to travel. I mean, that was the worst thing. Is I've been on buses on weight. You're stuck in traffic for 45 minutes. It's horrible. Being able to just come downstairs, sometimes you got to deal with the commission before you get on the scale, which sucks. But at least it's better than the traveling part. I mean, last time I was in Milwaukee, weigh-ins were outside, so that was pretty shitty. I felt like one of those starving kids over in Africa. I got gnats and stuff flying in my eyes. I couldn't move. I couldn't swipe them away. It was miserable. It was absolutely miserable.
What do you think of when you have guys like Dan Hooker on this card you fought, and Thiago Santos, and this Anthony Rocco moving up in weight and finding much more success? Are you ever like, maybe I should give that a try now?
I have thought about it. For a good period of time, I walked around in the mid 180s, mid to upper 180s, and I felt physical benefits, when it came to grappling and also my power in the training room when I was that heavy, but I couldn't carry that into the fight. And then probably because of getting older and then also, the other shit that I got to deal with, my weight cut started to get a little bit more difficult in like 2015. So I decided to take some weight off. And I've been walking around a few pounds lighter, and I don't get over 175 right now. So I have thought about it. And my coaches like to give me crap about it, because I say, like, I mean, the guys at 70s are big, but for me to feel those benefits, I need to go up to 85. So I would just skip right over. I'm going to be fighting bigger men either way. And for a majority of my career, I was, training every day with my brother, who's an 85-pounder. So my game has always been to fight the bigger guys and to use my speed and to use my scrambling ability and stuff like that. Lately, I've been training with a lot more small guys, so it would be harder for me to do that now. But I wouldn't really. I'd still have to watch my weight a little bit. I'd like to put on a couple pounds if I went to 70s, but then I'm still dealing with the weight cut. So for me, yeah, I'd rather just walk around at that weight and step on the scale and fight guys who are 210.
165, 175. If they made those weight classes, that's what you'd want to see.
You know, at the point where I'm at right now, I'd probably still stay at 55 right now. You know, I mean, that's why I've ruled out going to 45, just because I would have to walk around at about 160, and that would take a long time for me to get there, to remove the muscle and to really like slim down. But you know, I'd like to see hydration tests, honestly. If you're talking about fighter safety and our ability to perform, you know, even if they throw in the extra weight class and they move 70s up to 75, you're still going to get guys that are cutting.
Right.
And then for that opportunity to have, you know, be fighting in 2 weight classes, potentially be champ in 2 weight classes, you're going to see even more jumping around between the weight classes, I think, in that span between 55 and 85.
So when you say hydration tests, like hydration tests during the week or like when they get off the plane or throughout the year?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we've got USADA coming to our door, you know, a couple times a year, and for some guys, like every other week. They test your hydration level anyway.
Right.
You know, they throw it on the refractor, and it's a very simple test. And I mean, yeah, to send somebody out just to see how hydrated you are and to step you on a scale, is it worth it? But you know, I think for our safety and like I said, performance-wise, to be able to fight at the weight you're walking around at all the time, and to force you to do that, because even for me to just say, okay, well, I'm going to go to 170s. It's a difficult decision to make.
Sure.
You know, I'm 5'8", you know, so.
And George was 5'10".
Yeah, you know, I mean, granted, you got guys like Gastelum fighting at 85, and he's one of the shorter guys. And I mean, it's and DC at heavyweight. I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but it's a tough decision to make.
He asked if certain aspects of weight cutting still surprise you. What about the entire overall sport? I mean, you've been there, done that. You've had more UFC fights than anybody. But MMA as a whole, like, do you still get surprised by some things?
Yeah, I mean, things are always changing, and I mean, when it comes to fighting, I mean, it's exciting for me because you never know what's going to happen in the fight. You know, it's that's why I fight, is because there's that unknown. You know, it's not like a football game, it's not like a baseball game, basketball, where you've got this certain amount of time that's going to happen, and oh well, they're ahead, they're going to lose. I mean, you look at some of the recent fights we've had where we had these amazing comebacks in the last second. That's what's exciting to me as a fan and as an athlete. All the stuff outside, I try to, you know, there's money involved and stuff like that. So like I don't know. I'm not surprised by any of it, really.
That 30 fights in the UFC, what does that mean to you? Is that an important record for you?
I mean, it is. You know, it does mean something. And I don't think that there are many fighters that are, you know, coming into the UFC and have come into the UFC in the last, you know, couple of years that are going to come near that mark, honestly. I see that fighters are being a lot more, I guess, strategic in the way that they're taking fights. Recklessness has always been kind of one of my strengths. So if I get the opportunity to fight and I know that I can make weight, then I fight. So it is pretty cool, and you know, Burt Watson always used to say it's harder to stay here than it is to get here, and that sure as hell is the truth, you know.
So do you see fighters like Cowboys kind of like right behind you? He takes a fight and you're like, oh, I got to take another fight, stay ahead of him.
You know, not really. I mean, it's not like something that I need to hang my hat on that. I mean, it's
not a competition.
Yeah, it's not. Honestly, it's not. And I mean, he's been extremely just willing to fight. He's been very active. So, he caught me. He caught me, and he's right there behind me. There are a couple guys that are right there behind me that fight at a decent pace. And, I feel like I could have fought a couple more times in that time. But, I got held off for some of the cars that were around the New York, New Jersey area. So, it's just it's cool to be there. Like, I think that's going to be a very small group that get past 30. So yeah, it's something I'm proud of. Yeah.
But as long as you're there, do you ever sit back and go, man, 40 wouldn't be bad either. 40 would be legendary.
You know what? I see 30. I'm going to take it in small steps, right? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So I'm gonna take the small steps, and we'll look at 35.
Speaking of eating, are you fighting at the perfect time of year to get this out of the way, and then you have the holidays coming up, and you can do you a little bit more and not have to worry about it, as opposed to fighting it on the last show of the year when?
Yeah. I've done that twice now. Fighting right after Christmas and stuff like that. I mean, for me, it's not. Thanksgiving's my favorite day of the year. My family, we love to cook, and I'm the worst cook in my family, and I'm not that bad, But my family blows me out of the water. So it's like it's an event, Thanksgiving, and when everybody's around. But for me also, growing up a wrestler, Thanksgiving meant the last day of not being in wrestling season. So it's always been something that's like, okay, well, I can eat, and I'm eating good food. It's not like we're eating garbage, But you just have some self-control, and it's always been okay for me. Fighting at the end of the year, it is a little bit tougher, on those days. But like I said, we're not eating, spoonfuls of sugar. So, but yeah, it'll be nice to be able to relax with the family and hope we come off a good win and have good holidays.
Have you considered how much longer you got left in the sport? Is that something that you've even thought about?
Totally. I'm a professional fighter. There's a difference between fighting professionally and being a professional fighter. I pay my bills by fighting. I've got a gym, but I couldn't support myself off the gym, my family off the gym, at least the way that it's run right now. So this is how I pay my bills. So, and the thing is any misstep, step on a cord, hurt my knee. That's the nature of the beast. So I've been trying to develop what's next. I haven't quite found it yet. But there's also that aspect of if you need that, you need to pay those bills. Once fighting is over, then that's when I'm going to find it. But I've been testing the waters and trying to figure that out. But who knows? We'll see. I've said in the past, I was very close to stepping away, but I kind of got my physical things sorted out, and we'll see how long I got in. I don't know. I want my last fight. I want to know that it's my last fight. I want to go into the octagon knowing that that's the last time I'm going to step in there. So I don't know if I could just come off a bad performance and walk away at that point.
You fought Charles Oliveira 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. Is that too far away to take anything from that fight and use it in this fight? You're familiar with him, but is that long ago enough that this is a brand new fight?
Totally. It was 8 years ago. We're both professional athletes. We've both improved. We've both gotten 8 years older. When I fought him, he was a young man. He was, early 20s. So it's a different fight. It really is, and you can't go by something like that. I'd love to be able to sit here and say that. Well, I knee barred him in 2 minutes the first time. I'm going to do it again. And that might get some clicks, and that might get some. You guys might take that and use that as a headline, but.
You said it.
Yeah, I did say it. I did say it. But it's 8 years. It's 8 years. Somebody that's been in the UFC for that long.
And he's gone on to. He has the submissions record now, doesn't he?
Yeah,
In
he's
the
a half
UFC.
twice.
You
Yep.
submitted the guy who went on to hold the submissions record. I mean, that's crazy, right?
That's the way it goes, man. That's the sport, you know. But yeah, it's a totally different fight, and you know, like I said, he's improved, I've improved. We'll see how it goes Saturday night.
How do you think it plays out? Like, where are you better than him in 2018?
I still think I have an advantage on the ground. I think that I've improved more in my striking since the last time we fought, and I feel I'm going to be the stronger, more physical fighter in there like I was last time. So I like this fight. He's dangerous, but who isn't? So you know, it's one of those fights where I have to be on. I have to be, you know, careful in what I do. I can't get reckless in there. But I think if I play to my strengths, which if I play to my strengths, I'll beat anybody. You know, I'll have a good night.
What do you think of, this is the last Fox card. I mean, you fought Nate on main event of UFC on Fox. I feel like you've been on FS1 a bunch of times.
I fought on the first Fox card.
The first Fox card?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did actually.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Fox era in UFC? How's it going to be remembered?
You know, I mean, there have been a lot of fights since then. That was
2011.
yeah, I fought Gallard on the first one. I mean, a lot of things have happened. We've had, you know, the Rousey era, and we've had you know, Conor coming in, and we've had all these major things happen. And it's having the opportunity to fight on a major network, I think has helped the sport grow and helped the business grow. So I mean, I think it's definitely one of those parts in the UFC's history that's going to, you know, leave a mark.